Hey y'all, I am coming before you all today to let you know today was a day. Today ended up, it was supposed to be just a regular day, right? An off day, because I've been working 7 straight days. It's supposed to be an off day, but it ended up chaotic. And I wasn't expecting it. So it kind of like put me back from what my intentions was. I was supposed to be taking my test. Well, not test, I'm supposed to be doing coursework for insurance. That didn't get to happen. I was supposed to rest. I didn't get to rest. But I went to another hotel because the Airbnb hotel or whatever was racist. Very racist, this woman was. I think she's on drugs. I'm not sure. Her name is Heather at the West End. So if you are in St. Louis, Missouri, please, and I beg you, if you are black, do not patronize that company at the West End because Heather is very, very prejudiced. And I think that she's on something because she can't keep still. I don't know if it's a medical condition. I don't know what it is, but she doesn't seem right. And, I've been around people that have done drugs. I've worked with people that have done drugs. And I can kind of like sense that something's not right there. Not saying that she is on drugs, but it's very, very, very um, possible that she could be. But she is racist. She is that. Uh, so the police was called on me today, and when the police arrived, it was 3 police officers in a truck, in each truck that came because of what she stated. She stated that it's a black woman that's not willing to leave the premises or whatever. Gave a description of what I had, but it's all type of stuff going on. Like it was so chaotic. Like it was that I was cursing and screaming, and I did none of that. And I got the video to show you all. I recorded her. She didn't know I was recording her because I wanted her to show her true self of who she was when I was trying to get clarity and explain to her about the miscommunication that she did. Chris Brown was in town last week, and she told me that she may not have a room for me Friday. So I'm like, okay, well, just figure it out. Let me know. I said, because then if I have to go somewhere else, then I'll go somewhere else. But she had already taken my money, right? So she had already taken my money. So the next day when I came in, she was like, I figured it out. I got it together, Stacey. I'm like, okay, that's fine. So she was like, I got you a room where you'll stay in that room throughout. I'm like, okay, that's fine. I'll stay in there. So what she told me was that because of that inconvenience, she was going to give me a free night, which would be Wednesday. So she said, I'm gonna give you a free night to Wednesday so we can just go that way. I'm like, okay, thank you. That's fine or whatever. So I came yesterday, I stopped at a desk and I told Rachel, the young girl that works there, I told her that I am going to go ahead and do another week, right? Because she said, let me know by Monday if you're going to stay or not. I'm like, okay. So I said, I'll do another week. So I get down there today. I told her, I said, I'll stop at today because today's my off day. I'll stop at today and I will pay for that other week or whatever. So that would have been Tuesday to Wednesday because she said that she had gave me an extra day. So they called me. I was on the phone with insurance people. They called me down and said, are you coming to pay? I'm like, yeah, I'm coming to pay. So I came down there, whatever. And I'm like, okay, so I paid the money and I'm telling her, she said, I said, well, that'll get me from Tuesday to Wednesday. She was like, no, it'll be from Tuesday to Monday. I'm like, that's not 7 days, And I was like, well, Heather told me that it would be from Tuesday to Wednesday. So we going back and forth or whatever. And I'm like, that's not what you told me. So she was like, I found you a room or whatever. And that's why it wasn't like that. I said, well, so why didn't you communicate that to me? Why didn't you tell me that, okay, now that since I have found your room, then I'm not going to give you that extra day that I promised you. So I was like, okay, Heather, even if it was not given to me the extra day, it's still I just paid you $643 for 7 days, right? So that 7th day is Tuesday to Tuesday. Why is Why are you telling me that it's Monday? That's not technical. That is 7 days. Is from Tuesday to Tuesday. So she gets mad because I confronted her with it because that's not what you said. And I told her, you should have communicated with me after the fact and said so we could be on the same page that, oh, now that I got you the room, then, what I told you was null and void. Mind you, she took my money. If you knew that if you couldn't give me a room because of Chris Brown or whatever, then why would you accept my money? But you did accept my money. So you say you figured it out, but now I come down here to pay, telling you that I'm coming to pay. And now you're telling me, well, no, that's not going to get you. I said, you know what, Heather? That's not what you said. So she gets mad because I tell her exactly what she told me. She's like, you know what? Just refund. She's shaking while she's doing this. Just refund her money or whatever and tell her you're going to have to leave the premises. I said, I don't have a problem with leaving the premises, but you're going to give me my money back because you just took it. And whenever you do a transaction like that, it takes sometimes 3 to 5 days, business days or whatever, for you to be able to do that. So for you to get your money back. And I told her, I said, no, ma'am, because you just took the money. If that was the case, if you wanted to leave, why did you take my money? So I told her, I said, I'm not leaving anywhere. So she's like, I'll have you escorted out, but that's what you're going to have to do. Because I'm going to stay right here until you give me something, because you're not going to take my money and put me out and tell me that I can't do it. So you're not going to give me any type of means to get somewhere else or, get transportation. No, ma'am, that's not going to happen. So I sat there. I said, I would gladly wait for the police to come. So the description, like I was saying, it's a black woman and I'm causing all this chaos. Now, I'm going to upload the videos and let you all see how I was or whatever, right? Definitely was not irate, anything like that. I'm trying to get clarity and explain to her. She basically told me, and it's on the video, she basically told me that the owner, which I spoke to the last time I stayed there, because it's the second time, he was very nice. The owner was very nice. I asked her, I said, can you give me the owner's number? Can you call him? No, I'm not going to do that. I said, well, why not? Well, it doesn't matter because he's going to believe anything that I say anyway. I said, oh, really? Now, she didn't know that I had took my phone out and I was recording, that she said this or whatever. I was like, okay. I said, because I spoke to him and he was a really nice man. And he is actually a really nice man, but he chose the wrong person to help run that business or whatever, because she's very unprofessional. Like I said, I think she's on something just by the way she acts and all of that. The fidgety, she's real fidgety, and she's, moving around like, she can't control her body and all of that. And she's racist. So any black person, do not go to the West End, 4215 Lindell. Do not go to the West End hotel or whatever. If you are black, they do not welcome you there. You should not patronize them with your hard-earned money or whatever. So I'm telling you, and I told her, I'm going to make sure that I put this on every social media platform that I have, and that I am going to let people know what you did and how you did it. She gave the description as a black woman, like I was out of my mind and I was crazy. When the police came, I greeted them and told them to come. I told them what happened. They were upset because they said this was a waste of taxpayers' money. And it was, because it didn't even have to get to this point. You did something, you had already taken the money. So why not just, okay, take the money and then after those 7 days, what I paid for, I'm gone. You don't have to worry about it or whatever. But you got mad because I called you out on something that you say and the lack of communication that you had. So you got upset about that. But I told you that I'm not done and I'm not finished with it, because I did not like the way that you described, that you had them thinking that I'm some type of crazy woman or whatever because I'm black. I'm a black woman, so I'm causing trouble or whatever. The owner's going to do whatever you say. All of that. So I did call Taisha, the woman that used to work here. Never had a problem. She was pleasant. Anybody that know me, I don't cause trouble. And she was like, well, I don't want you gone, because if you're talking to me this way, then you'll talk to the guests. First of all, I work too much. I work at a hotel. I'm never there. So I don't even see the guests when they come in and out. I'm very seldom there. And when I'm not working, I go somewhere else and I'm doing other things. So how are you going to predict what I will do? And I don't even see the people. I've never did that. But again, like I said, that establishment, first of all, they moved me 3 times, right? I did not complain about that. I constantly smell smoke and weed, marijuana there or whatever. And it's supposed to be a smoke-free facility. Uh, a lot of the things are outdated, like the showers and stuff like that. You know, wasn't functioning properly and all of that. The last time I was there, the very first time that I stayed there was back in January, no, December the 26th of 2024. And I spoke to the owner because it was a shooting there. They had some guests came or whatever, they got into it, and I was in the room, and the only thing I heard was like gunfire and all of that type of stuff or whatever, shooting. So they had to call the police. They had to escort the people out or whatever because they thought it was an Airbnb, and they were not supposed, they was poured in or whatever, and they say after 10 o'clock, you know, you're not supposed to do this. You got to inform them if guests is coming, all of that. So I went by all of their rules. I did everything that they asked, plus paid this money, and it wasn't no cheap money. I done spent $1,200 in that hotel in 2 weeks. I done spent over $1,200 in that hotel in 2 weeks. So this is how you do me because I'm a Black woman, really? And the owner is going to do whatever you want him to do and all of that. So that's fine. And again, I recorded this. But the owner last year, he accommodated me by giving me an extra night because he said that, you know, he was sorry about that. They didn't expect it. I understood. Like I said, he was a very kind man, very understanding or whatever. And he was like, you know, I'm so sorry for that or whatever. So I never had a problem. I gave him a great review. Not this time. Not this time. Since she has taken over, like I said, the last time I was there, Chad Shay was there, and I had a wonderful experience. You know, I talked to everybody or whatever. I cooked. When I cooked, I would, you know, ask them if they wanted something. So this right here just like took me back, like really. And then for her to say that, she got mad. You're screaming, but you're telling me not to scream at you, but you're disrespecting me. But you don't want me to so she became a whole Karen. And I am sick and tired of those Karens that, you know, have it, you know, and she's like that. Like the woman acts like something is off. Something's off with her. I don't know if she's on drugs or whatever, but it sure seems that way to me, that it is. I can't say for sure, but she acts that way. She acts like she's on something or whatever. So again, do not patronize the West End Hotel on Lindell, 4215 the West End. 4215 Lindell, West End. Is right across from the Walgreens on Lindell, and it's adjacent to the Schnucks that's on there, right there by the Cancer Center or whatever. It's a lot of things that I could talk about or whatever, but for that experience and for that amount of money that I paid, I would never, ever go back. I constantly smell smoke or whatever, you know. They didn't come in and tidy up or whatever because I have the door thing on there, because I'll do that myself. I bring my own sprays and stuff like that. So again, I'm never there. But if you're Black, you should not be in that. You should not go to that hotel. If you are Black, please, and I promise, I beg of you, if you are Black, do not patronize the West End Hotel, 4215 Lindell. Do not patronize that here in St. Louis, Missouri, because Heather is racist. She's very discriminative. She don't like Black people, and maybe especially Black women. So I'm telling you, keep your funds, go somewhere else where you're going to be treated fairly, you're going to be treated respectfully, and all of that. Do not patronize the West End Hotel, 4215 Lindell. So that's what I have to say, but I am going to post these videos so you'll see what I'm talking about, that I'm telling you not to patronize them, because it was ridiculous. Like I said, it was bent out of proportion. You had already taken my money, and then you're going to be disrespectful and tell me this, that, and other. No, ma'am, you're not. So she wanted to be a big confrontation, but I commend the police because they were actually wonderful. They really was. They were wonderful in handling the situation. They was a little upset, but they couldn't do anything about it. And I understood it was not their fault. They were like, yeah, she's wasting taxpayers' money. And she did. For what? Because you got upset because you did not honor what you said that you was going to honor. And when I called you on it, you got mad because I said it. And I stand 10 toes down for what I did and what I said. Like I told her, I'm not leaving this facility until I get my money back that you just took from me. I don't have a problem with leaving the property, but you won't give me my money back. I have never in my entire life, and I've stayed in many hotels, never in my entire life have I got into it with anybody. I work at a hotel. Anybody like that, right? To where you're gonna call the police on me to put me out of the hotel. I told her, baby, I'd have been put out of better places, okay? So I'm gonna tell you, never, ever has anyone known for my character, but for you to do that and try to embarrass me, and for you to waste taxpayers' money, and for you to lie blatantly like you did, oh no, it definitely is not over. So that is my take on it. But do not patronize that. And I told her I will put this on every social media platform that I have, because Black people, we need to stop patronizing people that don't want us there. If this is the way you're going to treat, you want to take my money, but you're going to treat me that way, do not patronize that hotel. You got other hotels or whatever that you can patronize, but do not patronize this one, okay? So again, I'm just here to tell you to beware. Stay clear. The reviews are horrible at that hotel. They are very horrible. And I gave them the benefit of the doubt because I stayed there before and it was a pretty pleasant experience. But now since this woman here, Heather, is there, no, she doesn't like Black people. She doesn't like Black women, okay? So I said what I had to say. If you're in the St. Louis, Missouri area, if you're coming to the St. Louis, Missouri area, do not patronize the West End Hotel, 4215 Lindell. If you have not already subscribed, go ahead and subscribe to my channel, Life with Stacey C. We're totally free over here. And until next time, guys, take care of yourself.